Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Tuesday, June 9, 2020. I'd like to bring you said information out of Buffalo, New York. And this is in reference to the protests that have taken place of the death of George Floyd. And this is by the Democrat and Chronicle, if you need verification for the story. Martin Gugino, 75, was injured after being pushed by Buffalo police officers during an interaction in Buffalo Thursday. President Donald Trump theorized Monday that Gugino could be an Antifa provocateur and appeared to scan police communications to black out their equipment. Friends say Gugino was a peaceful man who regularly stood up for what he believed in. Gugino said he is out of the intensive care unit. The hospital said Friday he was in serious but stable condition, and there is also a video in this said article. A 75-year-old man suffered a head injury and is in stable but serious condition after he was shoved by police during a protest in Buffalo, New York, and that was at that time. President Donald Trump put forth an unsubstantiated conspiracy theory Tuesday that Martin Gugino, a 75-year-old Amherst man injured in an incident with Buffalo police last week, could be an Antifa provocateur. 75-year-old Martin Gugino was pushed away after appearing to scan police communications in order to black out the equipment, Trump said in a morning tweet that provided little clarification. Citing a report on conservative news network OANN, Trump said, "I watched. He fell harder than was pushed, was aiming scanner, could be a setup." He also said Gugino could be an anarchist provocateur, but provided no evidence for that assertion. On Tuesday morning, Gugino declined comment in a text to the USA Today Network, New York, saying only, "No comment other than Black Lives Matter. Just out of the ICU, should recover eventually. Thanks." Two suspended Buffalo police officers have been charged with assault and accused of intentionally pushing Gugino, who was seen bleeding from the back of the head after he hit the sidewalk. Gugino was present at a peaceful protest in Buffalo on Thursday and was one of several dozen people standing in front of the city hall, about 10 minutes after the city's 8 p.m. curfew started, according to bystanders. In multiple videos of the moment, Gugino approached a group of Buffalo police officers on the sidewalk. He appeared to say something to them and gestured toward them with what appeared to be a phone or other device. He was then shoved backward by two police officers, after which he lost his balance, stumbled back, and fell, whacking his head hard on the sidewalk. Witnesses say Gugino began bleeding from his ear, and video footage shows blood pooling near his head. Police called emergency personnel to assist Gugino, who was in serious but stable condition as of Friday. And this is Gugino's attorney who responds to Trump tweet. Requests for interviews with Gugino have been turned down by his attorney, Zelle Zarcone, due to Gugino's medical condition. In a statement Tuesday to the Washington Post, Zarcone called Trump's tweet a dark, dangerous, and untrue accusation. Martin has always been a peaceful protester because he cares about today's society, Zarcone said. He is also a typical Western New Yorker who loves his family. No one from law enforcement has suggested otherwise, so we're at a loss to understand why the President of the United States would make such a dark, dangerous, and untrue accusation against him. Twitter said that it considered Trump's tweet speculative and that did not violate the platform's rules, the Post reported. Governor Andrew Cuomo ripped the president's tweet, saying he should apologize for the reprehensible dumb comment, calling it written with no proof whatsoever. Cuomo said angrily during his briefing Tuesday, "Do you think it was staged? Do you think the blood coming out of his head was staged?" Friends said Gugino is a longtime peaceful activist who was known to show up at protests or rallies and ask hard questions, but he was not violent. When Gugino sees an injustice, he steps forward to bear witness and work to correct it, said Terrence Bisson, a longtime friend of Gugino's activism in general. He was a peaceful presence. That was his goal. Gugino had an internet presence on YouTube, social media, and a blog on which he discussed various issues of activism and was at times critical of President Trump or the police. His blog states he has been arrested 4 times with no convictions. Both his YouTube and Twitter have been deleted. Since Thursday's incident, some social media users have said Gugino was there to provoke unrest or start trouble with police. Videos posted following Thursday's incident show Gugino speaking to a group of people in front of City Hall that same evening. Some in the group appeared to be upset by Gugino's views or his presence there. Okay, and this is more articles pertaining to this man. Okay. Buffalo Mayor Byron W. Brown released a statement Tuesday on the president's tweet saying the city of Buffalo has been engaged in constructive discussions around racial equity and that they will not be distracted from this urgent work. Our focus on positive change is stronger than ever, Brown said in the statement. My administration remains hopeful that Mr. Gugino will experience a full recovery and that the officers involved in this incident receive due process under law. Brown said in a statement last Thursday that he was disturbed by the video of the incident between police and Gugino. It was later inaccurately reported that Brown referred to Gugino as a major instigator and agitator. Brown had been referring to another individual at the time. 2 officers, Aaron Torgowski and Robert McCabe, have been charged with 1 count each of second-degree assault, a felony, in connection with the incident. They pled not guilty and were released. They are expected back in court for a felony hearing on July 20th. And that is the said information, and this is by USA Today. Also, in connection to this said incident, where these 2 gentlemen, or 2 males, because they're not gentlemen, 2 males who pushed this man, did not offer aid to him. Other officers stepped over him, beside him. 57 Buffalo police officers have resigned from the Special Response Unit, but they are still police officers. They have not resigned as police officers, only emergency response. Well, I could care less, because you resigning from the emergency response team shows me you're in cahoots with the one that shoved him and the one who didn't render aid and also the other ones that stepped over the elderly man. Now, what he was saying to the officers, I don't know because I wasn't there. But as I state, people have the right to rally, gather, protest, hum, sing, whatever. So long as they're not throwing anything, weapons, whatsoever. Why do you need to engage forcefully, brutally? You're too old for that and you should know better. And that's not your damn job. You're there to aid, to help keep it peaceful. So I'm trying to figure out how this elderly 75-year-old man was of any threat to the police for them to shove him in the first place. And the fact that 57 of you all would resign from the emergency response team shows me that you're cowards and you're simple-minded. And you have the like mind of the officer that shoved him. As far as Trump, nothing new. Another idiot with the brain the size of a pea giving commentary on conspiracy theories just because he can. He doesn't care about George Floyd, African American lives, or anybody else's lives. Did I get that correct? Let me specify. Trump don't care about you, white America, black America, Hispanic America, Jew America. Yeah, I said it. Because he doesn't. Because that was a white man on City Hall steps. And I don't know what he said or didn't say, but there was no need for another white man who was a cop to push him and another step over him, one after the other, without offering any type of assistance. That was so despicable. So despicable. And there are also other reports that the man was trying to hand them a helmet or something. I don't know, because I didn't see a helmet in some of the pictures. So I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was saying to the officer, plural. But as I state, nothing he could have said would have been worth you pushing him back. Now, the article also states he was standing there 10 minutes after curfew. So I can understand them saying to him, sir, it's after curfew. You need to leave. I'm all for that. That's your job. I have a problem with that. But you don't got to put your hands on him. You got to say to him, sir, you cannot be standing here. It is after 8 p.m. You need to remove yourself from the premises. And that's all. And you wait for him to get on his way. And then if he decided he did not want to get on his way, then you tell him, we will have to remove you from the premises. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if he wanted to be combative, then that would have been on this elderly gentleman. But so far, I don't believe any of that transpired. Something was spoken from the 75-year-old to the officer, and he got shoved. And I'm like, well, obviously, you didn't care anything about him being there past 8 p.m. because you shoved him and he fell. And you walked right on by. You all walked right on by, so he couldn't have been much of a threat, and you couldn't have cared about the curfew, because had you cared, you would have told him, as I stated, to get on his merry way or take him off the said premises if he was an imminent threat and violating city orders. I'm sick of the BS. This has been a terrible 2 weeks of this mayhem, all this nonsense, all of this just horrible, horrible, horrible. No respect for the living, no respect for the dead, different rumors circulating pertaining to Mr. Floyd, this and that. I don't stay on social media every day to keep up with who said what, who did what. I bring you the said information, and I do the best that I can. But no one is without a flaw or a sin. That's just a spoken word. But no one deserves to be murdered, in questioning of a crime, in custody of a crime. That is for the judge to decide, and for your lawyer to bring set forth information to prove you are innocent or guilty of the said crime. And that's the law. Praying for this gentleman. Obviously, he was bleeding on the road, on that sidewalk, So, yes, he was hurt. Thankful he's out of the hospital. But as a commenter said, what if he had broke his hip, had a seizure, anything? Because falling at that age leads to other complications, such as a broken hip, leg, ankle. Now he'll need rehab if he broke his hip. And that leads to infection, which then leads to pneumonia. And that's how a lot of elderly people pass away, is from broken bones. For those of you who aren't in the know of what happens to the elderly body once it takes a nasty fall. Despicable, stupid. I'm sick of all of this nonsense. Prayers for the Floyd family. Prayers for this elderly gentleman. Prayers for America. God bless all of you. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below. Thanks for joining me. And I just had about enough of everything. I really have. I've had enough of people, these racist white people and their nasty comments. And as you see, and let me say this before I check out, since everyone want to talk about black and white, black and white. Those were white people in cops' uniforms that knocked a white man down on the sidewalk. So as I've always said to people about racist white people, they don't care about themselves. So naturally, they don't care about an Arab, Jew, Muslim, black, Mexican, Puerto Rican. What the hell makes you think they care about their own damn race? Don't get it twisted. The enemy ain't never cared about nobody. Yeah, I'm saying it. A demon seed don't care about nobody. So it doesn't matter if they're white, if they're black, if they're Jew. If you're foul, you're foul. And if you can easily turn on a black man for no damn reason, you will surely turn on your own white race. And you see that was evident in pushing that white elderly man down. There was a white man that did that to his own. And there's no way nobody gonna make me think that man was such a threat to him and other people. Sickening. Drop your comments below. Thanks for joining me. God bless you. You all stay safe out there. I had to, but all I can take, I'm serious. I've had enough of this. This is nonsense to me. The utter redundant nonsense going on in this country. The racism. It's sickening. It's sickening to me. And I don't see it stopping. I'm sorry. Some of you want to be positive. I don't. Because you can't change the minds of people. These people are sick out here. They're miserable. They're vengeful. They're spiteful. They're jealous. They're ignorant as hell. Uneducated. Uncouth. They don't care. Because you see, today it's a black man, tomorrow the leak was roof. The roof had a leak in it. They're just mad, angry, combative. Ain't nothing right to these people. They're a waste of energy. To me, waste of life. Angry people hurt people. Hurt people. Hurt people. And that's what the hell's going on right now in this country. A lot of mean, vengeful, angry people. And they don't like themselves. So they're sure in the hell not going to like you. I'm just keeping it real today. Enough of the BS. Stay in your lane and respect other people. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.